Technology is always great. Gotta love it.
When it works,
right? Hey everyone, it's Karen Butler coming to you live from SLGTV, our new podcast kind of streaming thing. And today we are so very lucky because we have Joe Bartozzi from the National Shooting Sports Foundation, NSSF, who is here to talk to us a little bit about firearm safety. As you all know, I really think that firearm safety is every day. It's not just a month, but it is nice that as a nation and as an industry, we do designate some very specific time to say, okay, this is really important and here's what you need to know. And there's no one better than the NSSF to lead that charge for us. And Joe is the CEO and president of NSSF. So welcome to SLGTV.
Thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate being here to talk about gun safety and all other good things like that.
Yep, great. So can you just give us a little background about yourself? Because how did you fall in love with this career field of wanting to make sure that people understood, really what NSSF does? Obviously, they do a lot more than firearm safety, but what led you to take this role?
You know, I've been working in the industry now for nearly 40 years. So working in and around guns, hunting and shooting. I actually started shooting competitively even before I got into the industry. So I've been around firearms since my teenage years. And you fast forward, as a husband, as a father, as a grandfather, someone who has owned guns through my life. The idea of safety, secure storage, things that when you're raising a family, you have to think of these things. So this is kind of a natural outgrowth for me. And I worked for a firearms manufacturer who was a pioneer in the secure storage of firearms by giving gun locks away with every gun sold since 1989. So we were kind of on the cutting edge of this thing, and I kind of get into it from learning from my mentors at Mossberg on this topic. So it's something that I've never really outgrown, and it's something that we should never outgrow, frankly.
Great. Well, I appreciate that. I just got a little text that says we're actually live. So we'll live and we'll record this and post it tomorrow. Is that all right with you? Or?
Fine with me.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's exciting. Technology is not my friend today. And I'm still blaming that I broke my foot a couple weeks ago. And so everything in my life is my foot's fault. And it was because I wasn't being safe, because I wasn't paying attention to my surroundings. But let's really talk about firearm safety and this message. So I'm amazed at the number of people that still have more to learn about firearm safety. And you have Project Child Safe, which is just, look, y'all, if you haven't been to Project Child Safe, you need to go today. But Joe, can you talk about Project Child Safe for us, please?
Yeah, it's a comprehensive program. It's been around since 1999. And really, it's about the education, the safety messaging around secure storage, handling, and use of firearms, including hunting in a safe and responsible manner. There's a lot of different facets. There are video assets. There's, of course, documents. There's checklists. There's quizzes, parents' guide, educators' material. There's all sorts of things that people can use to learn more about firearm safety, and even with their children as well, things that their children can participate in to learn more about firearm safety. So it's a program that's evolved over the years. We've given away more than 40 million firearm safety kits in the last 24 years. And those kits include not only educational materials, but also gun locks. So people can start to apply the lessons they've learned from the messaging and the materials immediately to their own firearms. So it's something that we value very highly. Again, we talk about this as being National Safety Month. I say safety never goes out of season. It never goes out of style. It's got to be on the forefront of your mind when you're hunting, shooting, target shooting, training, whatever you're doing, handling. You've got to be thinking about safety and the safe elements of handling firearm responsibly. So, Child Safe is kind of a passion project of ours here at NSSF because it touches so many facets of gun ownership. We partner with more than 15,000 law enforcement communities all around the country in all 50 states and 5 U.S. territories. So the message is getting out there by trusted folks in the community, the law enforcement folks. We're also partnering with some churches and some faith organizations. So it's something that, again, we're very proud of, but it's very important. And in the last 3 years alone, I won't beat this to death, but in the last 3 years alone, there have been 18 million, roughly 18 million first-time gun owners in this country. And the demand for our materials has gone up quite a bit as a result, which is really great. It's gratifying to see this, but we cannot underestimate how important it is to educate those new first-time gun owners so that they do have a good experience and they're safe with their family and friends while they're hunting and shooting.
That's right. I always tell people, you would think that firearm safety should be intuitive. It's just something that we know, but it's not. It's something that you really need to learn and study and practice. And so it's a series of things. It's not just common sense. Although common sense plays a huge role in firearm safety, there's also things that the general public, if you've never been around a firearm, I mean, we see it at the trailer, Joe. We have couples in their late 60s that have spent their entire lives not making a decision to own a gun that are now purchasing a firearm, and they don't know what they don't know. And it's hard for me to think about all the way back to when I didn't know anything about firearms. And I always say we have way more to learn than we know on any subject ever, but firearm safety and the resources that Project Child Safe have for us is just phenomenal. And I'm so appreciative that you're out there really promoting the safety message. It's super important for a new gun owner to be able to go to a website that's actually going to give them fundamental information on how to be safe with a firearm. Not any, it's not political at all, people. It is all about being safe. And so please, 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 I have a little challenge for you. Joe, I hope you'll get behind and help us with this, but we think that everyone that's watching this live should go on and tag someone and tell them they need to go to this website as well. So don't only just copy the website for yourself, but go to projectchildsafe.org and tag a friend and tell them to go to it as well. You'll be amazed at the information. I was super excited. Just it's like you said, there's so much there. Now, there's another subject that a lot of people are paying attention to right now, which is a tragedy, but it's suicide prevention and the responsibility of gun owners to ensure that they're storing their firearm away from persons that might do harm to themselves. Can you talk a little bit about that and some of the studies? I know y'all are doing a lot of things on terms of suicide prevention.
Yeah, I mean, this is a topic that I know is very uncomfortable for a lot of people, but when you stop and think about it, we know from the studies, the information that we've gathered, that between half and about 2/3 of all firearm related deaths are actually from suicide, not from accidents, not from homicide. So between a half and 2/3, that is a staggering number. So we started out about 2016 in a partnership with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention for us to learn more about frankly, this tragedy, but to see how we could help as a gun owning community. What can we do? Is there something we can do? And we created some really great resources together. And we're not experts in mental health or suicide prevention in and of ourselves, but we do have the credibility in the gun industry, in the gun community, and be able to be that trusted messenger to folks that might be otherwise concerned about some doctors or clinicians talking to them about their guns, right? So we decided to lend our hand to this thing and work with them and provide input to their documents, which are more maybe culturally sensitive to gun owners, veterans particularly as well. So we worked with them in 2016 and we created some really good documents, which are on our suicide prevention. You'll find those Have a Brave Conversation materials at the NSSF.org. But then in 2019, the Veterans Administration reached out to us and said, hey, can we work together on some projects to help reduce veteran suicide? Because the numbers for veteran suicide are even more staggering and depressing, frankly, than the general population. So as the father of two veterans myself, this hit very close to home to me. And I said, yes, what can we do? What can we do to help? And we have a great partnership. We created some great materials with the VA and with AFSP together, the three of us. We've got now some real action items to help remind people that very important, suicide is preventable. That concept was lost on me, frankly, before I started learning about this topic. But as someone who is technical, like an engineer, I'm an engineer, right? So when you realize something is preventable, now you realize there's something we can do about it. And while no one can do everything, everyone can do something. And so we're
What a
spreading the
great
word.
quote.
We're giving, we're giving the information to people about how you can be safe. And like we said, secure storage, yes, it prevents accidents, it prevents misuse, it prevents theft, but it also importantly prevents suicide. And that's what we're really trying to combine these information, these elements to get the message out to people. So yeah, tag it, share it, spread the word, because we've got to be better educated on these topics, everybody. And you never stop learning about these subjects. And we can do something good here. We really can do something good. We can save lives by learning more about this topic.
Right. So the other day, I had just visited your website because you guys launched a video about a teen's journey to prevent suicide, which is an excellent little reminder that I loved your quote, "We can't do everything, but we can do something." I love that.
Yep.
Um, the But I was reading through all that information, and then I talked to someone who's been kind of laid up for a while. And so I noticed, and I'm like, have you lost hope? And I asked the hard, awkward question. And really, the NSSF material that I read gave me that courage that this is a good question to ask. And it's better to ask the question than not ask the question, because if you don't ask, you can't do anything about it.
Right.
And so I was very thankful. And then my husband's a retired Marine, first sergeant. And unfortunately, we've seen far too many suicides in the military community. And then we have, I mean, it's just, there's all kinds of communities that are impacted by suicide right now. And it's, if we can do something, which we can, and you all can do that by sharing this material, I really challenge you, share this material and let's work together to try to prevent suicide. And then for sure, if you own a gun, you better be doing everything you can in your possibility to keep your firearm from unauthorized use, period.
Right.
It's our responsibility. And I truly believe the people we've met, the new gun owners that we've met across the country over the years, they want to do the right thing. They just don't. They don't know what that is. So thank you so much for everything you all are doing. We love being a partner with you. You know, we're partnered with you on the Plus One initiative and the Project Child Safe. And we just love everything that you're doing on behalf of gun owners in the gun industry.
Well, you have been really great partners, and you helping to carry our message is much more meaningful than us trying to carry our own message, right? So the fact that you can validate and inform people from your perspective about our materials is much more meaningful to us, because it does in fact validate what we've been trying to do. So we really appreciate all your work, your effort in getting the word out. And it's important. I mean, we saw that 18 million number I talked about. Fully a third of those are females, and I think it's the gun culture, if you will, is starting to look more like America than it ever has before. We're seeing an influx of people from underserved communities. Of course, we talked about females and others. I mean, it's a great melting pot. It's a great sport. It's a great pastime. Hunting is something that I love to do, and more people are now getting involved in that. So it's a great thing, but with great power, right, comes great responsibility, as they say. So we have to make sure that we do our job. We have to make sure that safety, secure storage is always at the forefront. And we are not shy about spreading that message. And I appreciate the fact that you're not shy about spreading that message, because it does have to be heard. People, you never stop learning, right? So always learn about safety and secure storage. And there's always these new technologies coming out with biometric safes. So there's all kinds of really cool stuff now that didn't exist back when I started hunting and shooting. So let's learn about it. Let's take advantage of it, and let's make sure we spread the word.
That's right. And money can be no excuse, because you can find a lock from the NSSF and you can get a cable lock and you can secure your firearm that way when you're storing it. So, you guys, there's a million ways to do something, and the NSSF has a ton of resources. So the challenge is on we're going to give one of these nice little safe living hats. We're going to give away randomly. We'll pick a winner, but we really want you all to comment and share the link and tag a friend, because really individually we're all doing great things, but collectively we can really put a dent in hopefully suicide prevention and also just practicing safety. It's great to learn about it, but you better be practicing it as well, and that's always. And we just love what you do. Is there any parting words you'd like to say?
No, other than the fact that, again, please do share this. Please do take advantage of the free materials, the videos, the checklist, the children's portion of this to try and help them be safe around firearms. I mean, look, it's a great sport. It's a great pastime. And we want to make sure people enjoy it responsibly. So we're trying to do that. I think with your help, we're reaching more people than ever. And thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we love what you do. And hey, I just do have to have a side note because I started and Krista's not here. I'm sure y'all are like, where's Krista? Krista had very bad storms and no power. And so we tried to bring her in, but she was a little, and so we decided that that would kind of be a little bit distracting from this important safety message on firearm safety and the NSSF and their resources. So we applaud you all for watching. We will post this when it was supposed to be posted because I clearly can't hit the right button. But we'll post this and record it live. Joe, you've been just a joy. Thank you so much. You guys take care. Bye.